So I have two Mate X bikes behind me here. I've waited a long time for these. This is the review I really didn't want to make. I've got two cameras on me, it's amazing, look. Double camming with her N95 mask on. So we are in the middle of, I say the lockdown. Here in Switzerland it hasn't been as locked down as other parts of Europe. We have started to come out of that a little bit more. And I wanted to get outside to show you these bikes that I've had for a few months now. I wanted to do a review of this earlier, but you know, the weather wasn't so great and I wanted to test it a little bit before actually reviewing the bike. Both of these are paid for by me. Full disclosure, I bought these on Indiegogo when they were a little bit cheaper than they are now. I haven't received anything from Mate for free, even though some of the backers did get some free perks. I bought all of the perks on these bikes and fully loaded them with my own money. So this is my own review, my opinion. And there's a tram in the background, so I'm really sorry about the noise. You can see from here, so the black bike is actually my girlfriend's bike and the grey one is my one. My one is a little bit modified and I'll talk about a little bit about that later on. But today we're going to focus on the black one because this is standard, this is how the bike comes. And you know, it's a bit of a beast. I would say if you're looking for a bike that you can fold and take around with you, this is probably not the thing. It weighs 30 kilos, it's pretty huge. It does fold, so it's not as big as that when you think, but from the pictures you can't really tell what this bike looks like. It's only until you see it in the flesh you realize just how massive this thing is. Anyway, let's cut to some B-roll. We'll show you some footage of the bike. I'll talk you through some of the bits around the bike and then give you an opinion. Mate X has a battery hidden in the frame, so it's pretty clean looking. It comes with a 250 watt and a 750 watt motor. However, there are two different versions of this bike. There's a Chinese version and a Taiwanese version. The Chinese version doesn't suffer from as many of the quality issues as the Taiwan version. This is not by any means a small bike. You can't really tell from the pictures, but it's pretty massive, so not that portable. This bike has the off-roading tyres, also known as the Big Daddy tyres, but it also comes with front and rear suspension. I've also added the light from Mate and the fenders front and rear, which are other optional extras. The rear shock is pretty bad. You're probably going to want to change that if you're a bit of a heavier rider. It bottoms out all over the place. The front shocks do too. However, the rear rack is pretty good. It's rated at 25 kilos and it's pretty sturdy. You can see here we've had to modify the rear fender slightly because it rattles around all over the place and we've seen them break off. The gear system is pretty cheap. I'm not going to lie, it's a twist to shift system, but with the right adjustments it kind of gets the job done. I've got hydraulic brakes on this, and actually they're not the best hydraulic brakes, but they're pretty good. I'm probably not going to need to upgrade those with the type of riding that I do, but they're Tektro HD 350s, I think, but they're pretty good. The kickstand, on the other hand, looks really cool, but we've seen a lot of these breaking off. Mine has fallen off already, and I put it back on. The folding mechanism, you want to check that as soon as you get the bike, because some of those are loose when they come. The handlebars are not the greatest, but the controls are easily laid out. I've also opted for the optional color screen on the bike, and you can see that the folding stem is there as well. I've actually replaced this on my bike, but I'll show you that in another video. There is one other thing that I wanted to show you about this bike, is that the key is in a really awkward and weird place, especially if you go off-roading. It's hard to get in there. And then I just wanted to show a shot of me trying to take this down the stairs into where we store the bikes. It is, as I said, pretty heavy. The bike is pretty huge as well. I've got a mountain bike and a racing bike, and you know, those are so much easier to get down the stairs. If you live in an apartment building like we do, this is not going to be easy if you have to go up and down the stairs. It's possible. We do this a lot. I take mine in and out of here every single day, but I've been replacing a lot of parts on my bike to try and make it a little bit lighter, a little bit easier to get down there. But it is 30 kilos, as I said, so it's never going to be a light racing bike. The motor accelerates pretty quickly. It makes a cool sound. Check this out.
Shit.
Amazeballs.
Do you think you should be skidding my bike?
Maybe. It's fun though. So I love the bikes. They're amazing. I ride this to work every single day, but it's not perfect. There are a few things with the bike that I'm not entirely happy with, and that's why I've been changing everything on my bike to make it suit my riding. Certain things with the bike came and they were a bit unsafe. The bolts at the front that are holding on the steering, the handlebars, is I don't even know how they managed to go out with that initially, because to be honest, it's hazardous. We've had many people already complaining that their handlebars have just come off as they've been flying down a hill or something like that. And being an electric bike, it's pretty fast as well. The amount of backers that have had issues with the batteries, controllers, other parts going wrong, would be fine if Mate were actually any good at customer service. They're not. They suck. You know, some people have had a bike for 6 months and not been able to use it because the battery's not working. I will say mine has been completely fine. I've had very, very minor problems, but it's just not good enough, especially if you're going to spend the amount of money on this bike now. I think they're almost about $1,800 to $2,000 now, and that inconsistency and that lack of customer service for getting those parts afterwards is just, it's not okay. Mate are not going to help you. You're not going to get the extra parts from them. They don't have the parts in stock, and when they do, you know, getting hold of them is almost impossible. The community itself has been really good. They have a number of people that are working on different parts for the bike. Virtually everything on the bike is replaceable, and I'll do another video in the future on my bike where you know, you can see that it's been heavily modified, and there are still like a few things that I need to do on there as well. But I think that's it for me for now. If you've got one of these and you know, want to share your experience in the comments below, then you know, please do. If I'm completely wrong with this, if you've got a good bike or a bad bike, just let me know in the comments below what the status is with your bike, because all I see on the forums is issues and they're not being resolved. Anyway, see you later.